Hi, I'm Charlotte and this is Tired Mama Tries to Read. I'm coming to you to talk a little bit about some unhauls that I've been doing lately with my bookshelves, and also I'm bringing out some of my backlists to add to my TBR, because at the minute my TBR shelf is far longer than any human could actually read before Christmas. But at the same time, even if I did read it, I'm just going to get more new books to fill it with. So I need to start bringing out some of my backlists and being really thorough with my bookshelves. What made me want to do that was about a year ago, I read a book that makes me a little bit embarrassed to share with you, because as an official book snob for most of my life, this is the sort of book I would completely have frowned upon. And I can totally imagine how crazy it sold from bookshops and how other snobby booksellers like me would have also frowned upon it when anybody bought it. But I did buy it and I actually really found it useful. You knew it was going to be that. It is the KonMari method, the life-changing magic of tidying. And if you haven't got it and you do have a massive issue with hoarding, I really think you would enjoy it. There are some bonkers moments where socks have feelings, for instance, but actually, even those bonkers moments, I actually really liked and thought that she had a point when she's talking about how much stuff we've got. And just from a material level, from consumerist level, I have got too much stuff. So yeah, that prompted me, and it was the first thing that ever convinced me to get rid of books. I hadn't really ever seriously gotten rid of books before I read this book. And now I think when my husband met me, I probably had about 5,000 books rammed into this tiny flat. And now I think it's probably closer to 2, although I'm not 100% sure. So obviously I have got rid of some over the years, but I've definitely I must have gotten rid of over 1,000 this year, which sounds insane. And it is insane. So now I've got a little stack of, I don't know how many there are, about 15 books, but a lot of them are novellas that I've brought out for my backlist. And it's do or die for these books. If they're not read by Christmas, I think I'm going to have to ditch them. So we've got the Penguin Classics, the modern classic editions, that are all short stories, cleverly packaged as books, because that is how you make money. And then you also make them a beautiful collector's item and put them in a big box that's about this long. And then that's how you make even more money. So they did a really good job. I managed to get about 10 of these. I think I've ditched a few along the way, and I've now got 7. So I think one a week should be doable, along with my other reads. They vary from things like Dorothy Parker, Virginia Woolf, Eileen Chang. Yeah, I can't see why I wouldn't enjoy them, and it's not a big ask really. If I got the bus still, I could read one of those on the bus, so I'll do that. The other book I've got out is Janet Frame, Towards Another Summer. So Janet Frame is a New Zealand writer. She's died now. She died in 2004, and she's famous for her memoirs, An Angel at My Table. It's a series charting her life as a New Zealand writer. My very, very good friend Andrew, who I used to work with, recommended me her writing. He didn't recommend this one specifically, but this was published after her death because it was a novel considered too personal to publish during her lifetime. I love stuff like that. It is about a writer with writer's block. I also love books that have writers in them as the main character. And there is something awesome about a writer with writer's block, because if you ever think of yourself as a frustrated writer, which I think when you're a reader, everybody kind of feels that they could, if they only would. So reading about writer's block, right up my street. And this is about her being on holiday in the north of England, and she's reflecting upon her life. So I think that's going to be quite moving. Other one I got out is E Hinton's Hawke's Harbour. This is now not a new book, but it was the first book E Hinton had published for a very, very long time, and I bought it straight away. It's been sadly neglected and has become slightly foxed, which is, a bit of a shame. But she wrote The Outsiders, which is one of my favourite books ever. I loved it as a teenager. I feel like it was my coming of age type book. So I need to get around to reading that. I've got a couple of little, again, these are sort of, maybe this is a novella, but to me it looks very, very close to a short story. And this one is certainly a short story, I would say. But they've been published in their own little books. So this is a horrible cover of Edna O'Brien's Night. I I do not like it. If I enjoy this, I'm going to try and get the edition that Night is in, rather than this, because it's just horrible. But I've got loads of Edna O'Brien books. Another classic thing that I do, buying multiple books of someone I haven't read. Gustave Flaubert, The Desert and the Dancing Girls. So this is another quick read, and hopefully if I enjoy it, I'll get around to reading Madame Bovary at last. If not, they're going to be booted along with Madame Bovary, I'm afraid. These are some little pamphlets. I've got a stack this big of things like this, but I'm going to start with these because these are about the Greek myths. They came free in the Guardian newspaper. It's the sort of thing they do with their weekend paper every now and then. So I really want to read the Odyssey and the Iliad again. I've been meaning to do it for ages. So I think I'll have a quick glance at these of an evening, and then we'll see. This one I'm really excited about. I'm tempted to push this right up to the front of the list, but this is Come Thou Tortoise by Jessica Grant. Yeah, I just think it looks really, really fun. It's got a very, very kooky and light-hearted synopsis. When Audrey Flowers, great name for a heroine, learns that her father has been hit on the head by a Christmas tree and is in a coma, she knows what she must do. Leave Winifred, her tortoise, behind, fly home, making a moving speech at his bedside, and wait for him to wake up. However, things don't quite work out that way. Instead, Audrey finds herself embarking on an extraordinary journey, one full of puzzlement and pain. I literally can't talk today. I'm really sorry. I'm stumbling over my words. I don't know what's going on. Jessica Grant's debut novel is a warm-hearted, funny and wise book that unfolds in a world that is not quite our own, a place where you might just live forever if you can avoid the dangers, cliffs where you were when you were lonely, staircases when you were tired, and where the truth can be hidden in the armrest of your airline seat. I think it's going to look really, it looks really fun. Yeah. And I love tortoises. I have a tortoise. So that's another good reason. This, I'm not massively excited to read. I must have been excited when I bought it, but just seeing this book over and over again on my shelf has just made me not want to read it. And I don't know if that happens to you, but this is a classic Marie Kondo art of tidying thing. If you look at something and it doesn't bring you joy, you should just get rid of it. And this does not bring me joy because I know I should have read it when I was in the moment and I haven't. But as it's short, I'm going to give it a chance. It might only be a 10 or 20 page chance, but I'm going to give it a chance. This is about a woman who runs away with her daughter. And not that I want to worry my husband, but that's another theme I really like, is when women abandon their lives. It's okay, I'm not planning on doing that. But I just love it as a theme. And I love The Hours by Michael Cunningham, because it's one of the big themes in that. Yeah, it's just something, I don't know, it's quite liberating about it. I think we've all thought about doing it at various times in our lives. So I'm more than happy to read a character that has done it. This one is The Homemaker by Dorothy Canfield Fisher. And it's a Persephone book. And if you've never seen a Persephone book, they all come with these funky interiors. Although I have to say, this is not one of my favourites. This is a sort of embroidery pattern of pigeons. I think it's pigeons, but I'm not sure. It's just the colour scheme I'm not massively fond of on that. They usually come with matching bookmarks as well if you get them from Super Swish independent bookstores. But I think I've lost mine. So this is exactly what it says on the tin. I think it is a book that has got a largely domestic setting, which, as I live most of my life in a largely domestic setting, I am keen to read. It's a new theme that I am interested to read. I wouldn't have probably been drawn to a book like this maybe 5 years ago. But when you spend a lot of your life tidying and cleaning and trying to find meaning in caring for your home, which I think is how I approach it, I try to see it as basically looking after my house rather than endlessly doing the same job over and over again. Then I think books can help with that. My tidying tends to slip when I've read a feminist treaty against the domestic servitude of women. But then when I read something like this, or there's a couple of poems by the poet Gillian Clarke where she takes a lot of pride in pickling things and making tins of things and and washing linen. When I read stuff like that, then I pick up the Hoover again. This is the last one. Kate Atkinson's Behind the Scenes at the Museum. And I've picked this one because I have about 5 Kate Atkinsons and I haven't read any of them. I've never read her. She's always on BookTube, especially because she's got her new one out, and I just feel really ashamed that I don't understand why I haven't read them. My sister loves them. It'd be something awesome for us to talk about. So I need to do it. And I think it should be right up my street. But it's just one of those things I've just never picked up. Probably because I've had them for so long. So I'm not going to buy a new one now. I obviously know I haven't read the other ones. But I've had these ones for so long that they've just lost their shine. So this is going to be my way in. And if I like it, I will try and get through the others. But there is a chance that I will just unhaul the others and then just buy them as I see them. It's harsh, but I think it's the way forward. I don't know. If you've got any thoughts about unhauling, I would love for you to share them. And yeah, if you've read The Magical Art of Tidying, I would love for you to talk about that as well, because I did really enjoy it and I feel embarrassed to admit it, but I think it's a really good method, right? Let me know if you've had any successes with it. And yes, hopefully I will speak to you soon with a list of my week-to-week reading, or maybe even a review video if I manage to get some stuff done this weekend. So if I don't see you before then, have a good week and thank you for watching. Bye!